Good morning. I think it's 11 o'clock, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and start. First, I would like to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Saphura Long, President of Gratis Technologies. This is my first time joining the illustrious group of workshop speakers at the Digital Dealer. So I'll take a moment to tell you just a tad about myself. I used to be president of Price Corporation and founder of CRM Solutions, or Reckonop CRM Solutions, one of the first web-based CRM solutions for the automotive industry. We sold that company in 2007 because I believed in next generation of CRMs coming into the world. And we started the Gratis Technologies. I am also, I don't know, I'm not going to say how many years, but a long time wife of an automobile dealer, as well as graduate of NADA Dealer Academy. And my background is mechanical engineering and nuclear physics. So with that, we're going to jump into our talk today. I apologize about the fact that we didn't switch on you guys from putting customer in CRM to strategies to win using social media and CRM. A good bit of my talk today has to do with CRM and the pitfalls of CRM and the problems and how we can improve our best, get more results out of it. But I will also, close to the end, get a little bit into social media and the effect of social media and CRM together ultimately on our business. Okay, so go ahead and start. Obviously, if you look at the population of the United States, 73% of the population of the United States uses the internet. So internet obviously is affecting our business practices a great deal. However, one of the outcomes of the talk that you will see today is that a bit of attention needs to be paid to customer retention and as well as customer acquisition. So, in this talk today, again, we're going to focus primarily on CRM and social media. There was the AIADA news article in September pointed to an article in Automotive News indicating that there is an ever erosion of loyalty to the brand and that people generally are keeping their cars 2 years longer. However, this fact that there is an erosion of loyalty to brand, it actually brings forward a great opportunity for automobile dealers. This is where you can build that loyalty with the customer and still retain them rather than allow them to go from one brand to another. Okay, I told you that for many, many years I developed CRM solutions. If I had a dime for every time an automobile dealer told me, I hate the CRM, I would consider myself a billionaire. So why is it that we all hate CRM? This talk is mostly toward that and enabling you to get best results. Now this slide is very wordy. So I'm not going to go through every single line here, but that's what this talk is about. CRM requires this much attention, and we are going to go over every one of these so you don't have to worry about every line of it. All right. What is one of the most important reasons that CRMs fail in automobile business? Number one of the most important reasons is we as dealers, we must set our expectations right. You have to critically evaluate what is this CRM's strengths are, the CRM you have or the CRM you're looking at acquiring. What is the primary strength of this product? And try not to squeeze extra stuff out of it, okay? You need to figure out what is this product really, really made for, and what are you going to use it for? Remember that if you are buying a vehicle, A tractor trailer is designed for pulling a load. A race car is designed for driving really fast. And a family car is just that. Okay? Believe me, CRMs that are available in the market today have those characteristics too. I developed one for many years. Okay? You can't have a tractor trailer race for you. All right? So you need to first understand what are the critical characteristics of the CRM that you have or the CRM that you're planning on acquiring. Secondly, set your priorities accurate. What is the most important result that you want to get from this CRM? For example, sit down and communicate with all your people and decide, is this CRM more than anything else for you to be able to address your leads or improve time on lead response time? Or is this CRM something that you are going to use so for purposes of addressing your service appointments or something like that? Define what are the most important priorities for you and what are you willing to give up to gain that priority. For example, if the most important aspect of the outcome that you want to have is reducing lead response time for your internet, and the product you have got or your product you have chosen is really good at that, provide you with interfaces that somebody can look at and pay attention with the lead response time, but in order to see your service appointments, you have to hit 4 more clicks. Then you have to realize which one is the most important aspect of it. Realize that these tools have certain strengths and certain weaknesses, and they are not necessarily built for the same exact thing. And what are you willing to give up and for what you are going to gain? And who is going to manage this project? Realize that installing a CRM and having it succeed at your dealership is a project. And who is going to manage it and at what cost? Okay? The person that manages this project must have bite. If you want it to succeed, has to be a person that can hire or fire. And over and above that, that person must have time allocation in his job. If his job description is already fully loaded, you can't add CRM on top of it, because all you're going to do is affect all the things he's doing or she's doing. And then that person is going to fail. Realize that gaining a CRM, an outcome from CRM, is not that easy. It is a great thing, but it is a task that you got to plan properly and you have to adhere to. Okay? So what is the cost of doing this project? There's a cost involved. Just because you have a really good new car manager that manages your salesman very well and sells new cars, doesn't mean this guy is now suddenly going to manage the entire CRM for your dealerships. He's going to fail at the other job or fail at this one. And then ultimately you're back where you started. Okay? And if you're going to have to hire somebody new, then there is a cost involved in that. Realize what is the cost of managing this project. It's not just buying a CRM that's your primary cost. Define your expectations once you know what it is exactly, and expect what you are going to expect to have as a result from this project. Okay? For example, define your expectation is that we are going to reduce lead response time to less than 8 minutes, right? And if it goes to 10 minutes, what are we supposed to do? If it goes to 15 minutes, what are we going to do? And if it goes to 2 hours, what are you going to do? Okay? Just coming and saying, we're going to answer the leads by 8 minutes. Well, maybe something can happen, or a person is unable to do it, but you need to define the project and what is the outcome of it if it doesn't happen. Okay? That's a very important aspect of it too. Now, this is one of the most important aspects of the CRM install and CRM success, is your process. Realize that any measurable result requires an accountable process. Okay? And you cannot force the tool to necessarily match your process. And process is a very, very important aspect of this whole idea. Okay, make your process manageable. Having a process does not mean a very, very difficult way. As an example, I don't know if we have anybody here from upper Northeast around Rochester, New York area. One of the finest companies that has had tremendous success is a grocery chain by the name of Wegmans. Has anybody heard of Wegmans? Right. Wegmans has one process, that anybody that does not adhere to this process gets fired. And that is, if you walk in and say, hey, excuse me, where is sugar in this grocery store? If they say, over there, aisle 3, column 2, they're fired. The answer is supposed to be that it's my honor to take you over there and show you where the sugar is. Now, is that a complex process? No, it's a very simple process. But it has tremendous results in client management. Okay? Your process sometimes can be simple, and it should have an easy following result, or it has to be something that's accountable itself. Okay? Some of the best processes, again, are comprised of easy steps. Okay. Also, make your process match your employees' skill sets. Okay? Your process is going to fail if it is very difficult or it is too simple. Your process also has to have steps that make sense. For example, you say that any lead, that's not internet lead, any customer that walks in or whatever has to be entered into the CRM, right? A great deal of us do that at the dealership. Who's doing the data entry? That's part of the process. Salesman? Okay. So salesman enters his data into the CRM. Tonight, the customer buys the car. Salesman says, what's your name? My name is Joe Smith. Customer buys the car. Through the DMS import appears as Joseph R. Smith. Joseph R. Smith lives at 7500 Lee Highway, apartment number 24. But when he told your salesman, he said Lee Highway. So, no matter how good a CRM you have, it's going to have a hard time matching these two data together. And guess what happened right now? You just made two duplicates of this guy in your database. And ladies and gentlemen, by the time I'm finished, you'll realize that CRM is all about that data. And if your data doesn't have integrity, then you might as well forget about it. Okay? So in this process, if you say the salesman enters every customer, and the next leg is going to be a DMS import no matter what, you must add another step. And that step is DMS import verification. Somebody at your dealership, again, needs to sit down, look at the DMS import versus the data entered the day before. That's the only way you can verify it. And merge those records. If you want to be able to keep your data integrity, that step has to be added in the process. So when I'm talking about process, some of these are very simple things. But by the same token, make sure your process matches the skill sets. Not too simple or too complex. All right. Once your process is planned, you have to communicate this process to all the employees, especially in the sales or service. This process has to be communicated. Don't just buy a CRM and tell the CRM company to come and train your dealership on CRM. CRM by itself ain't going to get there. It's got to have a process within your dealership. And it is your responsibility to communicate that process to the CRM company. It is your responsibility as a managers to train your employees on the process. Okay? And then adhere to that process. Okay? So part of a great deal of your training has to be on the process itself. And a process that matches your dealership. You cannot ever waver from the process once you put it on. You know? It's like telling your kids, you know, if you drink and drive, I'm going to take your car away. You should do that if you drink and drives, right? This process, if you want to have your CRM succeed, is extremely important, and it cannot be wavered, and you have to also put together what is the consequences of wavering from process. What are you willing to do? You know. So don't just threaten. Put a proper process together, test the process, and then have that process tested, and then there has to be results based on somebody that might waver from the process. All right. Expect what you are willing to inspect. That is one of the biggest also problems with CRM. We managers put all of this stuff together and don't have time to look at results. As an example, you guys all have daily planners for your salesmen, right? May I ask what's on the daily planner? Daily planner probably has customers who came yesterday, customers who called yesterday, customers who bought yesterday, customers who bought a week ago, customers who bought a month ago, customer who bought a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? How long is that daily planner? And what is this guy's job definition? Is he a salesman? He's a salesman that's supposed to sell cars, correct? So if he gets behind on those calls one day, then what happens to this daily planner? The data is now stale, right? So, and another thing you must realize, a great deal of research shows that your best salesman, just like probably you ladies and gentlemen managers, are D-type personality. D-type personalities struggle with telephone calls a great deal. Usually it's a C-type personality. Your business development managers are like that. So you need to also pay attention to that. But if you're telling him to make the calls on that daily planner, then you really need to be the one to watch that daily planner, see if he made the calls. And if he didn't make the calls, why was he not able to make the calls? Maybe you have too much on that daily planner, okay? Or maybe the time of the day when he's calling, which is the best time of the day would be probably in the afternoon, is also the best time to sell a car, so the two are, you know, clashing each other, and so he doesn't succeed. Okay? So realize that just to make these calls, you got to put yourself in his shoes too. And if as a manager you're expecting and you think these things should be done, then be the one that actually looks at it and sees if the calls were made, whatever the process is, that the process could be adhered to. Realize that if nobody can adhere to your process, maybe guess what? The process is probably too difficult, right? Or there's some wrong here. And if you yourself can't do it, then definitely the process is not worth doing. There's some wrong with it, okay? So you need to be very careful about, but also you cannot be the weak link. You're just as accountable as anybody else. If you say, I'm going to look at your reports every single day, then you need to do that. You can't say, today I got too busy, I didn't do it. Get her earlier, or whatever. You have to adhere to the process every single time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is CRM? This is another thing that you guys need to start understanding. CRM is really a very good database management tool. And hence, because it is a database management tool, its biggest strength got to be that data. If your data doesn't have integrity, you don't have anything. Just because you bought a CRM, the customers aren't going to be flocking in here. CRM also does not necessarily build a relationship with anybody. Okay? CRM should be really CDM. CRM is a tool that only manages your data more than anything else. What makes CRM work? The 3 Ds: diligence, discipline, and determination. If you're not going to be diligent enough to watch all the results, it ain't going to work for you. If you're not disciplined to every day do what you're supposed to do, it's not going to get you there. And you got to be determined to make it work. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you. 4 circles of success. This chain, if any of it is broken, you're not going to again succeed. The top priority is what we said at the very onset. You need to define what you want from this thing. You know, if you really want a desking tool, then really go get a desking tool. The CRMs nowadays, unfortunately, are packed with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Okay? So much that they have somewhat lost their exact direction as to what they were supposed to do. Some of it is the fault of CRM providers, such as I used to be. Some of it is your faults because you guys are asking too much of it. Okay? But realize that still with CRM, you have to have CRM. This talk is not to drop your CRM, okay? Because you need to have the database managed. But top priority needs to be defined. Then you need to have that CRM strength defined. What is the strongest characteristic of this CRM that works best for you? Inspect your result. Always realize, okay? And that you have to have a solid process. This solid process is what manages your CRM and enables your CRM to survive. But realize that you got to have determination, you got to have diligence, and you got to stay on top of it. Now, another tool that has affected our business greatly, over and above just as another part of a internet, another parameter, is social media. 66% of those 73% people who are on the web are also using social media. Okay? So social media obviously is affecting our business. However, again, you need to realize, this is in your handouts, these are statistics. That comes from Pew Research. Okay? It talks about the fact that who is really on social media based on age, race, gender, and income. First and foremost, before you put a great deal of effort into social media, you need to realize what the outcome is going to be and what percentage or what segment of your consumer base is on social media. Okay? Secondly, what are the social medias? Obviously, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, and a whole host of other things. Obviously, you can't be on everything all the time. But Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, a good bit of them. 88% of time is spent with social networking site is on Facebook. 25% of the time is spent with internet is spent on Facebook. 1 in every 5 internet page visits Facebook. So obviously, guess what? Facebook is probably, if you're going to get on social media, is where you need to be. There is an article also in your handout that is written by AOL that would be a good thing to read. The article talks about the fact that you have to realize that social media is just that. It is social. Okay? So, what is important on social media? Branding, your quality of posts, your frequency of posts, your engagement, how current you are, how relevant it is, and your tabs. Okay? So realize that once you get in here, you can't just put a page for your dealership and leave it there. Okay? Once you get in it, you got to do something about it and stay relevant on it. All right. What is important? Your branding is important. What is branding? Branding is what you would like to come across to your customer as a dealership. It is also the banners and things like that you got on other web-facing products. If you're on AutoWall, if you're on website, whatever you have got your banners should be also on Facebook. This branding cannot on Facebook have a call to action. If you have a call to action on your Facebook banner, they will take it down. They won't allow you. Like you can't invite them to come buy something. And it should meet the marketing characteristics of your dealership. What is a post? Does everybody know what a post is? A post is a message that you put for your fans or your people who like you to see on the Facebook. Okay? As simple as that. All right. What is a good post? More than anything else, a good post is an engaging post. What does that mean simply? That gets people to read it and maybe respond to you. Okay? An engaging post, a post should have pictures. A post can't be too wordy. It should have a link. It should be engaging, like always ask some question. And more than anything else, it should be current. Don't leave a post there forever for perpetuity. Okay? Don't dilute your brand with too much information. For example, don't put a post about what do you think about Lindsay Lohan's latest problem. That has nothing to do with car business, right? Don't dilute it. Don't put junk in there that doesn't have something to do with your dealership. Always ask a question. For example, a good post example would be, do you know what your trade-in is worth? It's a one-liner. It makes people think, and it has a question. Okay? That's a nice, simple, one-liner kind of a question that would be a good post. What does it matter when, how often, or what I post? Well, EdgeRank is important. What is EdgeRank? EdgeRank is a thing that Facebook calculates based on each and every user. Okay? You don't know how they calculate this. Nobody knows. It's their trade secret. So if the number of posts and all of these things that I'm talking about will affect the EdgeRank. What does EdgeRank do? EdgeRank affects who is going to see your post. Just because you posted something doesn't mean that everybody's going to see it. Okay? The post has to be about whatever you're posting, your EdgeRank is going to affect it. Okay? So it is not, you have to realize that putting a page on Facebook is not like putting a website or something. Only people on Facebook see it, and only certain number of people will see it. And now Facebook wants to make money, so they use this EdgeRank thing to force you to pay so that more people will see your post. You understand? So EdgeRank is important. Do not ever ignore a bad post. This is where you need to have a posting policy. A good example of posting policy is in your handout. You need to have a posting policy posted on your page, which means that what are we going to do if you put a bad post or a foul post on here? We're going to always respond to it if it's a bad post, always be positive, but if your posting policy says you have a right to delete it then you go ahead and delete it after that. Okay? But make sure you have a posting policy posted on your Facebook page. Okay? As a rule, only 15% of people that are on Facebook as your fans will see your post, unless you pay Facebook. If you want to pay Facebook, then more people will see it. Okay? So you need to have a critical mass if you want more people to see it. All right? Now, tabs. What are tabs? Tabs are all over. You can define tabs on the Facebook. One of it is links to other places, like other engagement places that you want customers to go. One of the tabs would be that posting policy. Another tab should be who are we, what is our policy at the dealership. Okay? So well-defined tabs also improves your edge rank. Okay? So make sure you have a well-defined tab. Tabs are well-defined. And again, the posting policy should be one of your tabs. All right. Again, your page is not visible to fans unless you have a critical mass. Okay? So you need to make fans somehow appear on your Facebook. I don't know exactly how you're going to do it, but in different ways of going about that. This talk's right now not about that. But you have to, but remember that all of those fans don't necessarily see your post, or they are not alerted to the fact that you have a post change. Okay? More than anything else. All right. Twitter is not too different. Twitter is, obviously everybody knows, is shorter messages. You can use your same post that you're using on Facebook on Twitter as well, and keep them pretty much current as very similar to one another. All right. Now that you are posting, what is a good example of how often are you supposed to post? You have to post a good rule is 2 to 3 times a week. Now that's a difficult thing for automobile business. We have a birdie in here. It's a difficult thing for automobile business, but I would say that twice a month is a good number to do. Okay? You don't want to overdo it either. But twice a month keeps them pretty well engaged. But, if you can do 2 or 3 a week, go for it. Not wrong with that either. All right. Now, you are on social media. You got to check what's going on there. A good rule of thumb is AM and PM. One time in the morning, one time at night, get on social media and see what's going on with your page. Okay? Because those postings are important. Facebook Insights, check them. Facebook Insights tell you when is a good time to post, who is reading your post, and those things. And that could teach you what kind of post got most results and when is a good time to go ahead and post again. Okay? Now, so where is social media taking us next? This is a very, very important aspect of what you need to ask yourself. What's happening? Social media is doing what to your business? Well, the most important aspect of social media is that social media is teaching your customers a different method of communication with you. Okay? Beyond telephone, beyond even email. Ladies and gentlemen, email is becoming occupational spam and is a really bad method of communicating with people when you have something that you're sending someone that requires reference. Okay? So you say you are guaranteeing the price of your trade for a week. And this customer says, last week they sent me something that was good. How many emails do people get on a day as a rule? A busy person. A great deal. So by the time the customer wants to get back to that email, it is probably deleted. Okay? So social media is teaching our customers how to communicate with us, and a different generation of communication and CRM is coming into being. With social media, anything is possible. You can do integration and all the apps and things like that. QR code is something that is one of the things that's our outcome of all of these. It's good to use QR code. QR code will enable customers to easily get to some sites that you would like them to go. And stay current is another thing. Okay? Learn. Your customers are ever evolving and changing. You need to be that as well. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. Read blogs. Realize customer is asking you to do something different, and so you need to change with the needs of your customers. The future. Okay. You guys are very lucky. Your business is a multifaceted complex environment, highly complex, okay? It is all about people. And when people are involved, it adds complexity to it that a lot of times you cannot control, right? Because they are people. But internet has added a layer of complexity to your business, and now social media has added another layer of complexity to your business. So, what are we to do here? Actually, you should be delighted because it's providing you a great opportunity to opening other doors of communication, but it is making your business a little bit more complex. More than anything else, rather than trying to be everything to everybody, try to focus on your strengths and what you want to accomplish and where your resources would work the best. If you look at the statistics on Facebook and you are a Highline dealer probably in the Southeast, I don't know exactly what percentage of your customers are really hitting Facebook very regularly. But if you are, Honda dealer and you are the upper Northeast dealer, probably a lot more of your customers are there. Okay, it depends. And then what are you trying to accomplish from all of this? Rather than just hearing that all of these things are there and I got to be everything to everybody, it is better to set your resources, set your priorities right, and decide what you want to gain from all of these tools. And then put the proper resources toward all of them. Realize that once you are on any of these, you need to be able to follow up with it, research it, put a process together with it, okay? Social media is not as complex as CRM or anything like that, but with this horizon and this era of change, you can harness tremendous potential and communicate with your customers and keep them engaged. And look at other possibilities that are available on how you can engage your customers. Social media and CRM aren't the only things. So, with that, that's the end of the talk. I hope I haven't bored you to death or scared you half to death. Does anybody have any questions for me? Be glad to respond. Yes, sir.
Did you find when implementing your CRM or any other CRM that people are trying to define their process as they're trying to install their CRM?
That's correct, and that is a problem.
I've been in a lot of dealerships. I just don't. There's not many that have a well-defined this is our process.
Well, and also, in all due respect to them, they do have the process, but because they buy a CRM, they think this magnificent thing is suddenly coming in here, and we should drop all of our processes and listen to this trainer who came here to tell us that this is the way our CRM does this thing. Well, it's your dealership. It's all about you. If you have your process, you say, no, this thing has worked for me. The best thing at my dealership, my skill level of my salesmen, who are very good salesmen, is not that they can enter data. So we're going to hand them a little up card to fill up information, put it in the bowl, and Cindy is going to enter the data. Okay? And Cindy has time tomorrow when the DMS import happens. By the way, if you add that layer of DMS import matching, you got to do that every single day, because that goes out of control too. Now, you don't have to worry so much with your fixed operation stuff, because with the VIN matching, that's not a problem. But if you are with the sold customer file, it is a problem. So you have to do that every single day. But you are right. It's a dealership got to say, it is my process, I'm going to adhere to it, and I have bought the CRM, CRM needs to match it. But you need to also say that at the onset when you're talking, or buy a CRM that matches your process. There are some of them.
But the problem is, again, most of these dealerships don't have a well-defined documented process. They have a process, but it's willy-nilly.
Yeah, but if you also yank that process away, whether it's willy-nilly or whatever, it's a process they're using. If you suddenly take that away, then they also struggle with it. And they keep coming, going, trying to go back to that. Okay, they keep, because it's something they know how to do, they keep going back to that, and then everything falls apart again. Oh, you're right. I said, but that's why these are all. That's a, let me tell you what is, and I don't want to say this very, very, right. CRM needs to be simple and easy. So define what is most important to you and grab that aspect, and don't go paying huge amounts of money for something you're going to use. If internet lead management is your biggest issue, then buy ILM, you know. So, yes?
How do you get Facebook fans into your CRM database? Do you have methods like through sweepstakes? They become a fan, but you don't know if you actually, but we want to contact them through emails or phone, you know, call by phone or mail. Is there a method that you recommend for that?
Well, you know, also, Facebook fans, just because they're your fan, do you think that is of value to get them in your CRM? Because that's another question. Just because somebody likes a Mercedes SLR McLaren, which is a $240,000 car, do you think putting this guy in your CRM, he's going to buy a Mercedes? You know, he likes the car, he likes the look of it, he likes the picture, he likes the poster. He's not a car buyer necessarily. Okay? So yeah, I would say that be careful of junking your data.
Yeah, you don't want to add just everybody, and that's what how do we
I would say if you really qualify him, hand type him into CRM essentially. You know, that's about, but first qualifying is an important thing. Just grabbing data, and I'm sure there are ways of doing it, grabbing data from Facebook and throwing it on your CRM is not worth it. It's in qualification of the customer more than anything else. You need to qualify them, then see where they go.
Right.
If it's of any value to you. Any other questions?
Just asking, what exactly is what does Gratis Technologies do?
Okay, Gratis Technologies, I guess there's not that many people, so it's okay. After the years of being a CRM company and realizing that the revolving door was always, you know, going from one CRM to another, we developed a second generation of CRM, and we realized that Facebook really doesn't work for automotive world. AutoWall is our new product, which is an interactive customer community tool, where all your customers, see right now you've got the CRM that is more toward acquisition of the customer. There's nothing in the middle for retention. 33% of your customers generate 85% of your revenue, okay? And we don't have any tools in the middle to get to know those customers. And a lot of those customers aren't necessarily on Facebook. So what AutoWall does is provides a profile for every creme de la creme, all your original customer base, you know, are on the AutoWall. They have a repository of all the sales and services they have done at your dealership, and they have, through AutoWall, just like Facebook, they can communicate with your dealership employees. And customers love it. Customers stay engaged. No more emailing. You post to them. You provide huge amounts of content. Rather than emailing newsletter, you post your newsletters on the wall, and they stay forever. It's an elegant way of, it essentially automatically addresses your reputation management. It automatically addresses your search engine optimization organically with both of those, as well as the fact that your customers go to one place. So essentially reduces your cost, but gives one location for all your customers together. That's very interesting. Yes, sir. AutoWall is it's a tool in its own. It is, from outside, it looks almost like a website. But when you log into, except with all the content and all that, but it is, you can have it framed, if you really want to, you can frame it in your Facebook, but more than anything, your Facebook page frames into AutoWall. AutoWall is your complete presence on the web, where your customers go for everything. They can go to look at your inventory, they can go look at, you can make it subset of another set, but usually, if you like your website becomes subset of AutoWall, because AutoWall has so much more on it. Because see, your website usually is essentially is an electronic brochure. AutoWall holds a huge database of your customer base. You can't realize by just looking at it, but you have login credentials. Your customer has login credentials. On the customer's profile is all the repository of all the sales and services he has ever done. And, for example, all his service appointments are there, all the multi-point inspection and future services are on AutoWall. So this customer doesn't have to anymore carry paper around. If you want, and directed coupons, no more one thing fits all. You could have, based on searches through the AutoWall, put directed coupons for your customer base. So that I have a different coupon than he does, than he does, than he does. And when I come to your dealership, I turn my phone sideways because AutoWall is, smartphone compliant, and show you my coupons. Now, I also service my car at your dealership, and you didn't just do as good a job as you said, and the car still has problem. What is my recourse right now? Pick up the phone, call your dealership, try and get the same service advisor. The service advisor has to get on the DMS, find what was done. But with AutoWall, I know it was done. Because the minute multi-line RO, every single line goes on my profile. So I look at it, I click on whoever I want to communicate with. Dealer principal, all the way down to service advisor that has helped me. And I send a post to that person. And I say, hey, gang, I'm really not happy because you said you'd do this and you have done that. And so he says, okay, fine. I'll set another appointment. Or look further down. You decline that service, whatever it is. That appointment gets on the customer profile. If they have our app, it gets pushed into their telephone so they get reminded of. So it's a complete management of the customer in handing the customer essentially the driver. See, with CRM, you're talking at your customer. With AutoWall, you're talking with your customer. It's a back and forth dialogue. With CRM, only supports a monologue. And you can't build a relationship if you got a monologue, right? I can only build a relationship when there is a dialogue. The customer is participatory. One of our clients had a post on AutoWall that it was that same thing about value your used car. Well, right after that post, there was a huge jump on the site itself being hit, and their leads doubled. Leads from their own customer base. And you know what they paid for that post? Nothing. So this customer base that you got is tremendously valuable. This 33%, or just the consumers that have worked with your dealership on a regular basis. If you just get a hold of those and manage them right. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
So if a dealership had this product, would you recommend that they still do their full CRM activities post-sale and
No.
this other
No.
So
If you are doing AutoWall, all you need is for CRM go as easy. We actually have a free source CRM we give people for free. It's about as powerful as any other CRM on the marketplace, but you can have it. Because I know the pitfalls of CRM and all that I talked about, I know that it's hard to manage it at a dealership. So you can have the free source CRM. We would say that more than anything else, you need to manage your leads on the CRM. The CRM will have really nasty data, as always. Because I don't know, unless you do all these things I told you, it's going to happen. Okay? So once the customer is delivered, that interchange from DMS now goes into AutoWall. And the client follow-up and the posts and all that happens through AutoWall.
So maybe CRM for pre-sales,
Yeah, precisely. Right. Once the customer has gone beyond, cell door has opened, and he has moved into that area, then he is AutoWall client. And now he has profile. Now he has got manageable, he has got these special coupons. He can put, do you know that 57% of your customers name their car? On AutoWall, they can put car's name in there. And when you send a post to them, you can name the car. Sorry? No, it is really. I mean, a lot of customers like it. It becomes just as much more personal. If he puts the name on there, you can use it. If he doesn't, he has to put it there. You can't make it up. He has to name his car. But and they appreciate it. A great deal of people named their car. And so, that was actually told to me by Mercedes-Benz Corporation. 57% of customers named their car. Do you know what that name is? We gave them a place to put it if they want to. So, you don't have things like that. Once the customer is a customer, that article I talked about in Automotive News, at that point you got to grab them. Because the brand is not, there is erosion of brand loyalty. But they are loyal to dealer, and believe me, they want to communicate with dealer. They want to communicate with dealer. Their dealer is important to them because you serve a service to them that's extremely important. I mean, that car has to be maintained. They look down the road about buying another car from you if they like you. So it's a tremendous resource. They are your recurring revenue. You can't allow a recurring revenue customer walk. You got to build on the recurring. You cannot let recurring go. Okay? So that's the recurring revenue model is the finest model of business to have. You have a recurring revenue model. Thank you. You probably have to catch a plane. Go for it. So, don't let the recurring revenue model get out of your hand. Keep those customers.
Thank you. Thanks
Sure.
for your passion.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So any other comments or questions? If you would like, we can scan you and send you something on AutoWall. The guys over there can. You would like that too? Very good. We'll do that. So, thank you so much for coming.
Really, really, really.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Who are you with?